I talked to my father when I around maybe like 96 or 97. And he say, man, he say, son, I'm glad y'all locked up. He say, because it's a crew that's running around here in Liberty City. Man, they taking people's spots and violence with it. It's a crew out of Miami, and it's a crew out of Carol City, it's a crew out of Overtown, you know, that kind of like bred a violent generation. So I don't know, maybe the generation I was in was a build up to that generation. I don't know, you know, but we all played a part in it. So this sunny days, 305 degrees. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because now I think my approach, why we're still going to go after our brothers that's in the streets. We still going after them. We still gonna strive to save them, you know. And I also had the opportunity to go into TGK, where some of our young brothers are being direct fouled. That means that they're waiting to go to court because they're going to be charged as adults because of their crimes are so heinous that some of them, if it be or don't be God will, some of them will never get out of prison. So I went in there and I visit, and I talked to maybe about 18 of our young brothers. And so when I went in there, they was like nonchalant, you know, because a lot of them, you know, they don't want to hear, they not afraid of the feds, you know. A lot of them, they don't want to be preached to, you know. A lot of them, they're not afraid to die, and they're not afraid to take a life. So when I went in there, they was all lackadaisy, like they didn't want to pay attention to me. And so, first of all, I told them, man, I came here because I love y'all, man, you know. And y'all did some things that y'all got to pay for, but, you know, we not going to throw y'all away. You know, because once upon a time, they threw me and my brother away. You know, say that the havoc that we wreaked out there, even though it wasn't violent, but, you know, that crack cocaine era, that thing hit our community so hard that our people went to the feds and asked for help from the feds, man, to get that crack cocaine out of our neighborhood. So that in itself is violent. So selling crack in itself is violent. So we accept responsibility for that. But the first thing I had to do to our young brothers that's getting direct fouled is I had to show them that I loved them, man, and that I came in there. And then I knew what type of language I had to get them. You know, I gave them a different language than I gave those high school students that we talked to at Edison today. You know, I had to get them prepared for what they was about to face, getting ready to go into them harsh penitentiaries, being young. So you imagine you imagine that your 17-year-old son is going to a prison where they rape boys, where they take boys' manhood? Could you imagine your young son going to a place where he don't even have a good idea what a woman feels like? And so they go into a place. So I had to get them prepared for what they was about to face in the place where they was going. And so when I spoke to the children today at Edison, I gave them a harsh reality. Because some of the same brothers that I went to talk to in TGK When I looked at them, they the same age as them brothers are. So yeah, so I think the crack generation has something to do with it. But I'll say this, and I had explained this to a brother the other day, and I would never want to promote and advocate for our children doing wrong. I would never give them a blueprint to do wrong. I would never encourage them to do wrong. But the hustlers that we was, the people that came after us, if they looked up to us, they wasn't violent. They wanted to get them some money like we was doing. They wanted to get them a girl and some dunks and some money and go to the movies and hang out and be jolly and all. We didn't want no war. We didn't want a war with nobody. I mean, we would, but you know, our number one thing wasn't war. When we was out there hustling our area, you didn't find 14 and 15-year-old boys killing each other. In fact, even when I was 21 and 22 and 23 and 24 going to the county jail, man, when somebody say they killed somebody, man, everybody gathered around them because they wanted to hear their story. You ain't have no whole lot of people killing people in that crack cocaine era. You know? And then again, like I said, like I don't want us to look at a small percentage of our children and think that's how the totality of our children living, because that's not true. And you still getting people getting funded, you know, because you know the stigma is that our black boys is out of control, and now they're being stereotyped. Hey, Brain, I'm trying to get you on, Brain. I don't know if you're trying to come on, but I'm trying to get you on. Trying to get somebody to talk about this. And we have some brilliant children. And I'm telling you, when you look at our babies now, man, our babies are so intelligent. I'm talking about the real young ones, the ones that's 2 and 3 and 4 years old. A lot of them, they are really brilliant. Now, I have a grandson that's a year and a half. He's a year and a half old. You know, he's already trying to brush his teeth. Do you know we was in school when we were young? We was in school when we were brushing our teeth. Trying to brush our teeth. So we have a brilliant generation. You know, look at your sons. Some of your sons, some of your grandchildren. You know, some of them, you know, most of them are not in the streets. I prayed for a day to come out here, man, when I could share my experiences, where I can work hard so God could give me. So, you know, my thing, I want to beat the old prophecy. They say if you save one, or you lead one to God, so God can work with him. You know, if you lead one to God, that God will take away like a multitude of your sins. So I'm trying to beat that one prophecy. You know, I'm trying to get all our babies. I'm trying to get all our sons and all our daughters. You know, not just that small percentage that you hear pop up on the news, and then when it pop up on the news, it be on cycles. It be on the news for cycles, and it be all over the country in cycles. But when they gonna talk about our children that's doing good? Why they don't highlight them? Why they don't highlight our children that's brilliant, that's scientists? Why they don't have that on the news? You know, why the camera wasn't on us today when we went to Miami Edison Senior High and talked to our children? So before I sign off on this subject, I want somebody to come in, man, and let's talk about it. This sunny days, 305 degrees. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about why they don't talk about the 99 sheep that's doing good, that want to see a better life, that live in the same area. Why they always talking about the 1% of sheep that got away? And we buying into it. Except for when we be home with our young grandsons and granddaughters and some of us that have young children. And you look at the children in your area where you live, most of them is not doing violent crimes. So I thought about that today when I looked into the eyes of our brothers and sisters that might be racially profiled because what 1% of our young people are doing. We had a lot of conversations